Hi all, and welcome to week 2. So last week you studied quite a lot of grammar, and this week you are going to take do a little bit more review of grammar, and then you will take a grammar test that will cover all of the different things that we've covered. You will also start working on your literacy narrative, and you'll begin brainstorming and planning that out in the discussion. So let's go ahead and go through all of this. So right here you will see the literacy narrative assignment sheet. There's a video here covering my expectations for that. And then if you go down here, you can see what all it's going to have. It's going to be 500 to 750 words in length. And it will not require any sources. You'll just be telling us about a form of literacy that has affected your life. That could be speaking, listening, writing, or reading, or it could be a skill that you had to learn, like repairing cars, or driving cars, or riding a bike, or playing a sport, or doing a certain job. Any of those can be a kind of literacy. Down here, you'll see some of the parameters. Make sure it's double spaced. Don't use any AI, obviously. If you turn in a completed draft, you'll have a chance to rewrite it. All of this will end up being due in week 3. So right now, you're just looking over this and preparing for the discussion that you'll have where you will brainstorm. So this is the assignment sheet. The next part here is the brainstorming discussion. In this discussion, you will plan out your essay. You'll look at a lot of different options for what you can write about. And down here, you will see the 4 different questions that you'll have in your initial post. These are due by Wednesday at midnight. And for each one of these, you'll be expected to write a paragraph with at least 5 sentences. The more you write, though, the easier it'll be to turn one of these into your actual paper. So any one of these discussions would be a perfectly good thing to write your entire literacy narrative about. For the purposes of this one, though, you just have to write a short paragraph. So number 1 here, in a paragraph, tell us about a good experiences you had with reading or writing. So that could be a book that you read that you really got into and really enjoyed the series of. Maybe you read the first Percy Jackson book and then you couldn't put the rest of them down. This could be a writing assignment that you had where you really started to enjoy writing, or where you worked really hard and you got a good grade on it, or you worked really hard and you ended up passing the star when you thought you were going to have trouble with it. All right, so anything like that could work for writing. If you enjoy writing poetry at home or something, or you wrote a whole novel by yourself, anything like that. Number 2, tell us about a time you struggled with communicating. Maybe you had to learn to speak with someone who used a different language. Maybe you had to learn to communicate on the basketball court. What issue did you have to overcome? So, a time when you struggled with communicating with someone else. Tell us about a skill, number 3, that you had to learn. How to do a job, how to fix cars, play sports, etc. How did you learn that literacy, and how has it affected your life? What skills did you have to master to learn that? So if you play shortstop, for example, you'd have to develop reaction time. You'd have to learn to communicate with your teammates. Anything like that could be an example of a literacy. And then number 4, tell us about a person who helped you with one of the above questions. So that could be a coach, that could be a grandmother who sat down on the couch and helped you learn how to sound out words. That could be somebody you struggle communicating with, or somebody who helped you learn to speak Spanish so you could speak with your grandparents. So who were they? How did they help you? What were some of the things that made them good at helping you. So post those by Wednesday at midnight, and then respond to at least 3 of your peers' posts by midnight on, it says Saturday, but Sunday. It should say Sunday. Write a couple of sentences. Which of the answers do you think would be most interesting to read about? So which one do you think they would have the most interesting stuff to say about? Which of these do you think would make for the most interesting paper? What would you like to know more about? You will have an easier time and a more productive discussion if you find people that have something in common with you. So if you're writing about being in sports, then find other people doing sports. Try to respond to people with fewer responses if you can, just like always. All right. So that's the literacy narrative stuff we're doing this week. Back to grammar here. I have 2 boot camp practice tests here that you can see. Both of these are very similar to the kinds of questions that you'll actually see on the real test. You can take these as many times as you want. So go through, take these, see which ones you get wrong, review them, and take them again until you get 100 on them. There's no reason to cheat on these, so go in and use these for practice. Do it until you get 100. It's an easy A. After that, I also have this, which is 2 grammar bootcamp reviews with answers, and the answer document is down here. So go through these, and these will give you more practice if you feel like you need more practice, and the answers down here will be so that you can go back and check your work. And then down here at the very bottom is the actual Grammar Bootcamp test. You will have 60 minutes to take this test. There are 50 questions on here. You will only have 1 chance to actually take it, though. So make sure you're somewhere where you have good internet that isn't going to cut out in the middle. And make sure that you have the time and that you've studied ahead of time. If you are able to do really well on these 2 practice tests the first time, you should do just fine on this test. All right, so that's your assignments for this week, the discussion and all of the grammar work. Make sure that you have those done on time. Good luck, guys. See you guys in week 3.